You're listening to 1069 Click FM, live in color.
Official. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, but it is Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. where once in a while I do this thing called Ass Talk, which is essentially me getting on for a little bit and talking about stuff that is in the sports world tangentially related, and holy shit was there a lot to go through. I'm not even going to try bothering to parse all the free agent signings because I haven't had a chance to look over like all the changes for every team. I got my brain scrambled enough trying to keep track of my team and a few others for reasons I'll explain later. But hello to everybody who has showed up at this odd little time here on Friday afternoon. I'm Jim B. here on 1069 Click FM. I'm sure all of you have some lovely news to share from the sports world in some way or another, because Lord knows I can't keep track of everything. There are going to be some general overarching things I'm going to be touching on today before I get to the really awful stuff at the end. And, well, Major League Baseball the season is nearly halfway over, and we're getting to that point where, for the most part, the leaders of each division are starting to really pull away, very definitely. I mean, even the Cleveland Guardians, who, yes, I think actually just won a series against my White Sox. So, yeah, good for them. They are back in first in the AL Central. Like, the closest ones right now are the Orioles, who have leapfrogged the Yankees, whose bats are slumping. I don't know how badly that could have been. It was bad enough for them to get swept by the Reds. So, oof. Meanwhile, the Mariners have lost their lead on the Astros. They now only have a 2-game lead in first place. But elsewhere, Brewers are still 6 games ahead of the Cardinals. The Phillies have 9 on the Braves in the NL East. Dodgers are ahead of the Padres by 6.5. And even though, the Dodgers may be injured to hell, yeah, I think everybody else is as well. So I have to give them an accomplishment for the depth stepping up and keeping them in first place. I hope you all are doing well. I got to spend my morning digging out poison sumac and bagging it up, and hopefully not getting any of it on me. Because, that would be a nightmare. We did survive Splody Day with the house and all the yard unburnt, so another victory as well. And it is very strange. The NL Central, as much as the teams have been flipping around over the past few years, like, that familiar order is back again from many a season where it would be the Cardinals in first, then Brewers, Reds, Pirates, and regularly at the bottom, they're playing the Blues at Wrigley Field. Really, the man who stayed up until like 5 o'clock in the morning dropping election updates and playing bingo is now nursing a hangover, especially after the many drinks that were involved in last night's occurrence across the pond. Also, I did get to see some of the American social media response because people decided they wanted to follow the British election, and the whole candidate lineup and the public reading of the announcements, it seemed to appeal to them in a strange way. But I think it might have been the Elmo costume and the baked beans mask that really did it. Ooh, 1:30 in the afternoon. Man, you're really pushing up against the stiff upper lip of your heritage, man. That is some major physical punishment on the body and the Constitution. Take care of yourself out there, okay? All right. Meanwhile, elsewhere in baseball, I am worried about a specific pitcher for the Mariners, a guy named Gregory Santos. He'd been injured and is now getting immediately put back into the bullpen, apparently, after doing one scoreless inning of rehab at their minor league affiliate. So, Leif, if you're out there, tell your team, please don't injure Gregory Santos. Please don't push him back into action too quickly. Oh. Actually, Logan, Luke, since the both of you are here, I've really got no complaints about the Brewers season so far. Is there anything that I should keep watch for as far as the upcoming second half of the season? Missing players, returning players that I should be forewarned of? What else? Oh yeah, over in the CFL, one of the a player in the Alouettes, defensive lineman Sean Lemon, was suspended for wagering on CFL games, including one in which he played. Even our precious Canadian football. This is. I already went on that rant last week. I don't need a repeat, but it's just a shame that they're going through the same shit up there. Also, just in case you didn't remember, tonight Red Blacks are playing the Blue Bombers. That's going to be on a little bit later after this. Just looking at the initial write-up of it, I gotta be honest with you folks, Bombers look like they are going to get stomped. They're kind of missing a few important receivers like Dalton Shane. Carrick Wheatfall isn't going to be in. So now they got to rely on some veterans and rookies in order to plug the gaps. I'm concerned. And if I were you, I would at least hope for Winnipeg to make it a competitive match, because I don't know how much Chris Streveler is going to do. Yep, Chris Streveler is going to get starting duties for Winnipeg. He's usually their short yardage guy, or when they need to get some explosive yards with his leg. Even I am wondering about Winnipeg. All right. Now, I went over this again just because I wanted to be sure. And looking at the Caps free agency again, there is one player that I cannot figure out yet why we got them. I kind of understood P.L. Dubois, and then we brought in his friend Matt Roy from the Kings, so, they can, I guess, keep up their ongoing gin rummy game or something, and maybe play on defense too. That's cool. Logan Thompson, Jacob Chitrin, Andrew Mangiapane. I'm bullish on, but then there's Brandon Duhaime. And from all that I can figure out, and I cannot find a good explanation for this anywhere, last season with the Colorado Avalanche, he didn't play more than 20 games, and then apparently just spent the rest of the year in a prank war with Marc-Andre Fleury. There's no mention of him being injured or sent down to an AHL affiliate or being suspended for anything. I mean, I found I found a video or two of him talking to other sports YouTubers. So, maybe he had some free time, but between that and the rough injury history while he was with the Minnesota Wild, I'm a little confused by this signing, and well, let's just hope he stays healthy. But oh damn, oh damn. The bigger things in NHL free agency, of course, Nashville trying to pry their window open again with Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, and Brady Skjei, giving extensions to Saros and Carrier, their defensemen. I don't know if that's going to automatically make them better competitors because, first, Stamkos and Marchessault got to survive the season. And they all got to survive the season. That's how it works. But I'm honestly feeling a little more bullish on the Oilers. Only because, and this is only because I looked over their free agent moves and, well, they're actually doing some good things. Like signing a lot of one-year contracts with people who were already on the team for tighter salaries, smaller salaries, but they're sticking around. Reminds me of the people who took pay cuts to stick around and get that cup for the Panthers. And hey, look at all the people who flew away from that nest between Lomberg, Montour, Stenlund, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Anthony Stolarz. They all went out and got paid. Good on them. And yes, I did curse the Jets. Thank you for reminding everybody, True North. But, and yes, I do know that Florida still has Barkov and Kachuk, Forsling, and Reinhart just got his extension. Big one. So, yeah, at least they've got the core signed, and their cap hit's probably still less than Toronto's for their core four. But now I see the Oilers making smart moves in free agency. I only have one little quabble, and that will be at the end of the show. We will save that for then. And yes, I did also end up seeing more and more articles about which team Garrett Crochet would be a perfect fit for. The answer is all of them, really. But more so the people who are in playoff contention. Hey, True North, do you think the Bombers have any chance of getting a W against the Red Blacks tonight? My gut instinct says no. And in case you're wondering, I actually do like Oliver Ekman-Larsson going to the Maple Leafs. I know it's probably not a very controversial opinion, but hey, one more person who can dish out the whoopings, which, hey, they've had a problem doing sometimes. Let me see, is there any other nonsense that I forgot immediately? Still shocked by the Dodgers losing to the Diamondbacks 9-3. And damn, the Cubs beat the Angels 5-1. Next game coming up is the Mets and the Pirates in an hour and a piece. Oh, got all the time in the world since then. So, yeah, this is probably telegraphed a little bit, but punter's chance. Red Blacks are not a great team, but the Bombers are a mess. That's along the same lines I was thinking. I know, yeah, they'll be 3-1 if the Red Blacks win, but that doesn't make them the best team. Unfortunate, but true. Yeah. And after last night's game, I'm a little worried about the Argos as well. But hey, I'm sure they'll be fine. Now, that news broke out on Monday. I'm looking at the hockey news story right here about Stan Bowman, Al McIsaac, and Joel Quenneville, you know, being reinstated and now allowed to pursue work in the NHL. And while I've seen a couple of articles try to point him in the direction of the Columbus Blue Jackets because at this time they're the only team that really needs a coach. Once their QB comes back from the bad list, yes. But the thing that dropped into my eyes is that there have been now a couple of people who, of course, are just, well, one of them is the former president of the Pittsburgh Penguins hockey team, and another one is a blue check guy on Twitter whose name I did not recognize as a sports reporter of any kind, but they're both along the same lines, and other sources are connecting Stan Bowman to the Edmonton Oilers. They need a replacement GM because Ken Holland went away after the season, and now well, I guess the comforting thing is that there was a petition started by a guy named Schmitty G on change.org for basically bringing awareness to the fact that fans don't want Stan Bowman in the organization. This was their statement on it. We do not condone a man who covered up a sexual abuse scandal, nor do we want him as part of the Edmonton Oilers organization. We as fans detest this rumored hiring and will boycott the Oilers as a result. Find a better candidate or face the consequences. Stan Bowman did nothing to stop everything and worked to cover up the scandal. As a man with authority, this is an act of cowardice and should sicken anyone. The man does not deserve a second chance and does not get to sour the good Edmonton Oilers name. Try not to laugh. I know. The victim of the abuse deserves better. We can influence the NHL to be better as a result. Admirable reasons for doing it. I totally understand. There are only 2,453 signatures on this. I know the goal is 2,500, but I think there would be more people who would be upset about having their team linked with a person like that. I mean, MKI. I have to imagine that as an LA Kings fan, you are in contact with more than a few Oilers fans just by, happenstance and the Pacific Division. I know this is an obvious example to bring to mind, but I can only think that it would become a Cleveland Browns Deshaun Watson situation where, the fans would be embarrassed and we would know why, but there would be certain fans we'd be looking at a little bit differently because they would be over-enthusiastically cheering this and supporting him. And yeah, bringing a highlight to your team like this with someone who I don't know how much, you know, remorse he has, how much he has been, how much he has, how many like programs or seminars he went through to relearn things. It would not be worth it to, yeah. It would be different if the Oilers were trash, but he's not worth the controversy. I would hope. I would really hope it would be a controversy. The NHL thought enough of it to reinstate them, like, a few years later. It's like we all would have forgotten anyway. And I got to be honest, I kind of already heard the online argument in my head of why are we still bringing it up? Can't you just let it go? I mean, it's not something that we can really afford to be thinking about when this team is so close to winning a championship. Yeah. Honestly, MKI, if you're gonna heckle them over this, emphasize that it comes from a place of love. Like, we do not want you to be associated with this guy. This is like, I gotta be honest, they do hire Stan Bowman as their new general manager. I won't touch them. I won't do any of their games. And they'll just be the Edmonton OVO to me. Oh yes, we all know how much MKI loves the Oilers. Lastly, it did not really sink into me that the frickin' ownership group is selling the Celtics. I mean, yeah, this is a great time to get all the value for your money. Big market team just won the championship, storied history. hmm So I'm sure that they could get a mint for it. Let me guess, MKI. In 8 bars, you'll explain that phrase? Yeah, cut and run with the profits. It is, the thing that unfortunately worries me is that there's a guy named Steve Pagliuca. Apparently, he's already invested in the Celtics, but might be a contender for. He's already announced his intention to bid for the team. My only concern is that he gets his money out of the legalized gambling industry. And with how much of professional sports these days already feels like it has been uh, it's been made a little bit off by the way that all the gambling and the odds making has just wormed its way through the coverage. Uh, well, I guess it's the next logical step, right? Well, True North, I don't blame any of the players. I mean, think about it. Last year, people were taking pay cuts to stick around. And, now they've got the I want a cup, pay me my money. Teams are willing to pay for that. Hell, Toronto got two of them, Ekman Larson and Solars. But I would also venture to say that the Florida or Miami Marlins, I think as they are known these days, yeah, they may follow that blueprint, but they still have they still have one more championship than the Panthers do. Oh. So we'll get to laugh at them more tomorrow when we do Sox Marlins. So, save the really good jabs for then, okay? And I don't know why you would want freaking Sidney Crosby. Like, isn't he getting up toward like Ovechkin age? And Dak Prescott dealing with a minor foot sprain. Honestly, I think he's just trying to sneak away to another team. Anyone that'll take him. Doesn't even want a position. He just wants a safe place to sleep at night. And yeah, I think that may be everything. I've run through everything I could think of. Oh yeah, MKI. Everybody loves Garrett Crochet this fall on CBS. Yeah, I'm sure the Orioles would love to have him. Well, all those teams would probably love him, considering how much, healthy pitchers are at a premium. Well, with the wave of pitching injuries that's gone through the league. Oh, yeah. So I went over to look at why Cleveland is doing so well, and it turns out that right now, the person with the best batting average in the entire Major League is a guy named Stephen Kwan. 367, plays for the Guardians. And then a couple other players, their bats have lit up, so they've got, wood on fire all through the lineup. I would honestly, if Toronto hired Stan Bowman, I am pretty sure that Mr. Steve Dangle would just walk into the woods, contact the most hidden, dark spirit that he could find, and get it to teach him how to breathe fire, just so he could use up all his life energy to completely immolate Scotiabank with his breath, if they hired Stan Bowman. And how is Shane Bieber working out for you in fantasy? Well, I hope. That was the other thing. A couple articles I read saying that the bats in Cleveland's lineup are making up for having a poor rotation, but I mean, let's be honest. Pretty much every team is battered with pitching injuries now. Almost every team has a poor rotation. If they don't, they are lucky. Out 2 games after he started after his Tommy John surgery. Oof. Rough. Blue Jays are also a dumpster fire, so Toronto fans are down bad. Yeah. Hey. Listen. If y'all want to become Detroit Lions fans, it's okay, Toronto. We will gladly welcome you, and we won't even give you any beef about being Canadian. It's totally cool. Got him on the IR for a lucky charm. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I think I have exhausted my brain for conversation, and I don't want to keep you any further. Thank you, everybody, for dropping in this afternoon. And I know it's a short one, but I've said everything I wanted to say, and I wanted to get you all going on the rest of your weekend. So, thank you for being here for Ass Talk this afternoon. We're going to be bringing this back before the start of the NFL season for my NFL teams preview and free agency evaluation. So, you'll be looking out for that. This is Jim B on 106.9 Click FM. Thank you so much for coming by, and good night, Milwaukee, wherever you are.